Welcome to another Unwinding with Fiber and Fabric and Countdown to Christmas 2021. I am so excited to make this video today because today marks the 100th vlog that I have done, or video that I have uploaded to share on YouTube since I started doing this just over a year ago. I guess it's actually been a year and a half ago. So I'm really excited. And the topic today is one that I love. It is mug rugs, or as we used to call them, coasters. So let's dive in, and I will share my commemorative mug rug that I've made for myself celebrating 100 vlogs because it is a celebration. I am so thrilled with the small following that I have and with the response that I have received, but most especially, I am touched with how my journey connects with others. This journey that I've been on to share the things that I love to do, the things that I've made, the things that have inspired me that were made by my family members, both past and present. All of this journey of sharing and trying to inspire, it has changed me. It has helped me grow, and it's helped me find a sense of peace I did not expect when I started this. If you go back to my earliest videos, you'll see I went out of my way to not look directly at the camera, for the camera just to be watching me from the side or catching what my hands were doing. I've grown a lot since then. Over the 100 vlogs, I have learned to look at the camera. I've learned to look at myself and be happy with it. Be happy with me. And for someone who's always been relatively confident in what they do, I have always been relatively shy as well as confident. So how do I explain that? I have an outward confidence because I took a lot of time in my youth to develop skills that hid the fact that I was really quite socially intimidated. So making these vlogs, doing these videos, sharing my skill through this means it's helped me accept who I am now at this age, who I think I've always been in the things that I love to do and how I love to share them. And it's helped me understand that something I've always known, but this has really been driven home with these: where there's a will, there's a way. I love sharing my crafting, my techniques, my journey. I love sharing this with people. And COVID has made it to where that can be sometimes very difficult to do. And so I know a number of people who have turned to using videos as a way to connect with their customers, with their students, and in my case, with my own family and friends. And my new friends that I'm making as I put out these videos. So I'm just excited. I definitely have to celebrate 100 vlogs and the journey that has brought me here. So, mug rugs. I really wanted them to be the topic of this special vlog, mainly because it brings together a number of my more traditional skills and crafts, and some of the traditional ways I found to share a small gift with people, even before I had the technology to, well, sit down and create all of this to be stitched out in the hoop. So I really did want to have my 100th vlog be about the mug rugs, because years ago, before I took up the crochet hook again and made my hands work, and before I figured out how to do some of the things I now know how to do with the embroidery machine, one of the early Christmas gifts that I would give to people in those years where the finances were very tight was homemade chocolate or homemade hot cocoa mix. So it was a simple recipe. I adapted a little bit from, in essence, a recipe on the can of cocoa powder. But there were times where I went ahead and made it instant hot cocoa by adding in powdered milk. There were times when I just moved it to being the mix that you would add to your heated milk. Either way, I loved giving these small tokens of joy and comfort to friends and family at Christmas time. I would save up empty jars, especially molasses jars, jelly jars. I'd save up different jars through the year, and I would recycle those as the jars that would contain the hot cocoa. Then I would find little scoops and measuring spoons that would be able to go with them. I'd decorate the jars, put instructions, attach the instructions to them, and that would be the gift. And so that was something I loved doing. And then a few years ago, when I first ran into the concept of the mug rug, or the coaster that so many are now making in the embroidery machines, I thought, oh, that would be so sweet to give the hot cocoa with a mug rug, with a mug, all of it together. Wouldn't that be a wonderful little gift? And I know people are doing that. I know that it's something a lot of people, a lot of crafters have come to understand as being just a fun and special, a little bit special way of giving a warm hug to the friends and family. So one of the things, though, is that oftentimes as we develop the skills and acquire the technology to do this, we forget the other simpler ways that we can share with our friends and family that may not have the ability to reproduce this exactly, but may, with the current skills they already have, be able to reproduce the concept. And they may have been doing so all along, just didn't realize that it was trending now. So I wanted to share a few of the simple ways I've made coasters and make coasters to give away with my hot cocoa. And I want to put a note, just make a comment. I think what I'm going to do is type up my hot cocoa mix recipe, and I'll put it on my blog, and I'll include a link below to that blog, in case anyone hasn't figured out how to make their own hot cocoa mix and they want to give it a try. So, going back to crochet and all of the wonderful variegated crochet yarns that I collected years ago when I was reminding myself how to hold a crochet hook, these two little coasters are fun, easy, and you can make a stack of them, and they're wonderful. Because they are cotton, these were fabulous in the summertime when your iced beverage may sweat, and they will absorb the liquid so that it doesn't ruin the wood surfaces that they're on. I know a number of people, when they make things like this, they talk about putting a waterproof finish on it. They don't want it to get stained. They don't want it to be damaged anyway. For me, this is a cotton sponge, and if it saves something else from being stained by hot cocoa, then by all means I want this to soak up the spill, because this, no matter how adorable it is, this is oftentimes much more replaceable than the other items that we have out and about that we don't want to have stained. So for me, the mug rug and the coaster, these are little sponges. If a spill happens, I hope these are the first thing you grab if they're on the table to soak up the spill. So I make them with the thought in mind, use them. If they get stained, that's just showing that they're loved. So I've shown, this is the crochet. This year, I saw, when you're on social media and a little video pops up and you see it and you're like, and it shows just enough information to intrigue you and to catch your attention. Well, I saw one of those and I decided I didn't need any more information. I was going to give it a try. And I figured out how to make this candy cane coaster. It's a little bit larger than the ones I normally make. But if I can find a link for it, the pattern, I will share it in the description below. But I'm not sure I'm going to be able to find a link. But I have to tell you, I was really proud of myself to be able to figure out from just a 30-second video how to actually do this. So my recommendation is for those of you who might be intimidated, just remember, if I can figure it out, and I don't read patterns well, you can figure it out too if you can find a pattern. It's just, it's fun. And I love trying something new just for the fun of it. So there's the crochet. So I've shown you, of course, once again, the 100th vlog and the crochet ones that I've done. Well, I also want to show, before I show more of my machine embroidery ones, this is a little woven mug rug. Now, this is simply a little tiny piece of weaving I tried, and of course it's hand spun wool, and I put it on the loom, and I picked what would probably for most weavers a not so complicated pattern, but it kind of stumped me. I kept getting very tired when I sat at the loom. It taught me that I don't I'm not a weaver. I already knew that, but I thought I'd give it one more try. I'm really not a weaver. So this little tiny mug rug is the example of me trying weaving and deciding, I think I'm going to let my daughter continue with this. So I wanted to share it because I am sure the weavers out there have leftover pieces from other bigger projects, little samples that they've done. Some, you know, and that's the thing. For a lot of people who do crochet and knit, the samples, the gauge samples, the test that you do, they can make. In this case, I just put a hem on either, you know, rolled it down and had a rolled hem, and it makes a mug rug. It's something that can go between the cup. It can go between a plate and the table surface, and it works really well. And again, it's kind of absorbent. So I have that one. For the quilters out there, okay, little quilt blocks make fabulous mug rugs. And one of the things that always frustrated me when I used to do this kind of thing, sitting at the sewing machine and then trying to turn it right side out, is wherever I had to turn it right side out, I could never get a nice straight edge. So in the machine embroidery world, though, I learned a little trick. And the trick is using folded over pieces. And so you're sewing all the way around, and then you can turn it right side out through the flaps. So I wanted to show you this one because, and while I did this one in the hoop, if I had been able to find one of my, I needed to find one of my orphan blocks, test blocks, and turn it into a mug rug. But I'm still trying to get used to where some of the stuff is. But basically, by folding over and having a folded piece of fabric on both, you can now stitch around the entire perimeter of the block, get it nice and straight and even, and then because you have these overlapping flaps, you get to turn them right side out and have nice finished edges. So for mug rugs and placemats and pillows, this is my new go-to. And one of the things, I was worried about it being a little bit thicker, and I know that sometimes I don't want to use up that much fabric. Well, all you need is to have a little bit of a fold, because what I tend to then do, and I'm not sure any of the ones that I have here have it done, because I am way behind on the finishing, but I will go through with a needle and thread and I will sew that closed. so that when it goes through the wash, so that as it gets used, it will stay closed. So I now don't use the folded over pieces that completely cover it, just enough for it to be folded on the one edge. Don't even worry about folding the other, and it works. So little tiny log cabin blocks, fabulous little mug rugs. So of course, I had to get into doing some of the applique and the machine embroidery in the hoop because they're fun. I've made a ton like this that I've sent off to my son. This one I kept behind because it was one of the ones that I needed to tweak a little bit. And before I sent him off, I sewed closed all of the openings. So he has a number of these for the different seasons. I've used the same kind of techniques and some of the stuff to make longer things that we hang them as banners. So the same kind of technique, whether it's a quilt block or whatever, you can use them as placemats, you can use them as trivets, you can use them to hang as a little sign. So those are some of the ones. One of the first ones that I did, I wanted to try out in my embroidery software a couple different techniques, and so this one, and this one is well used. Still don't have the back sewn closed. And I've been using this for now a year or two, and I love this one. It's very simple, goes on my in front of my computer, and I use it constantly. And it would be a perfect type of thing to go along with the hot cocoa. But whether they are rectangular or whether they are square, whether they are quilting, weaving, or crochet, a little bit elaborate or very, very simple. Mug rugs, coasters, pot holders work just as well. These things, people are always saying, oh, well, nobody wants these. No, we just have to remind people how they can be used and why they can be used and that they're wonderful. The truth is whenever I hear someone say, oh, well, nobody really wants those or uses these days, most of the younger people, most of the people younger than me, have never been somewhere that they've known what they were for, have seen them in use. And if you haven't seen them in use, or you only saw them in use when somebody was nagging you not to ruin the surface of the wood, you may not understand why they are as wonderful as they are. But they're fun. And as I've said before, when you make them with 100% cotton, the batting, in this case, the thread is not 100% cotton. And no, I would not put this in the microwave, as some people are doing with the bowl cozies that they are making. But if you make them and they are absorbent and they're soft and they're fun, strangely enough, our cups and our glasses gravitate to them, and we don't worry so much about needing to remind somebody, oh, don't put it just directly on the wooden surface. Nope. So I don't have to ask anyone to put them on. It just, when you have something that says love chocolate, you just want to put your hot cocoa on it. So I hope you've enjoyed this little inspirational video on mug rugs and the celebration of my 100th vlog. If you stuck around to this long, I just want to let you know that the next few videos bringing us up to Christmas Eve are all going to be quick, simple projects that can be done in the last days in the run-up if you just need a quick gift. I hope you take time today to unwind with some fiber and fabric, and that you are finding joy this Christmas season, this holiday season. I hope that you're finding some peace, even when there are disturbing things that come to our attention. That when we're sad and we feel the sorrow that we do for others who are struggling. I hope you can find a little bit of peace, and I hope you can find a way to brighten somebody else's day through fiber and fabric. And I leave you with this message. and I hope to see you again tomorrow.